Hello everybody, welcome to NBL Overtime. I'm Pete Hooley, I'm in the hot seat, super sub replacement player. I feel like Shane Falco out here. I've come in, the fearless leader Cam Luke, he's not here. Jump on socials, hashtag NBL Overtime to get involved. And while you're on socials, make sure you follow Cam Luke because he's doing all the big things in the States. He's front row tickets to the USC game, he went to the Clippers game. I think he's going to the White House to meet the president. Corey, good to see you here, man.
What's going on, man?
I've been nervous about the handshake because I know Cam always gets it. I know Liam, when you hosted one time, went with the fist.
Oh,
but
come on, man.
I had to bring that up. I've been nervous for that. Now, have you recovered? Because we had that game on Saturday, Tassie versus United, and you were speechless, which we don't ever get.
That's a fact. I have recovered, been resting, and just watching the great work of Cairns Taipans last night. Fantastic. I'm watching a new TV series, Gangs of London, and it's a good one.
Well, we're not going to get into that, the TV series. We'll get into the Cairns. Liam, I'm going to shake your hand because Cam never shakes your hand.
Oh, where's the
He
love?
always leaves you hanging. So
Big time.
You said last week you're really high on the New Zealand Breakers, and they continue to echo your sentiments.
Yeah, they're rolling, top of the table. 2-0 weekend, playing outstanding ball, and much love to Cam. We're enjoying watching him do his thing, but it's great to have you on the desk with us, my man.
Well, I am the super sub. I'm only here, so I think if I get fired, it doesn't matter. So wait till yes or no. I've got some big things coming in, yes or no. Let's get into last night's game. It started slow, but boy, did it heat up. I know you called it, Liam. Cairns Taipans versus New Zealand versus the Sydney Kings. He had everything. This first off by Sam Wardenberg. This is outrageous.
It was a game that, you're right, it had a whole bunch of twists and turns, a bit of a roller coaster of a third quarter when each of the teams went on some big runs. And Pete, you've been talking about the switch that the Cairns Taipans have the ability to flick, and I don't know if they flicked the switch last night. They actually they were resilient. They just stuck with this game, and Keanu Pinder was a monster. DJ Hogue, enormous at the end of regulation after what had been a really, really tough game. Hit that three to cut it to 3. They got the stop, and then no foul from the Kings, and Hogue rose up and punished them for it. Sent it to OT. Big plays from the Taipans in crunch time, Corey. Big time home win over the ladder leaders.
Man, I love what I saw. You know, this is a team that is very difficult to put away. They remind me of like jack jumpers. You know, you might think you have them. You had them on the ropes, and they figure out a way to win. Resiliency is exactly the correct word you use for what they showed yesterday. Fantastic performance. Keanu Pinder, that is a series. He's a legitimate MVP candidate. Just when you think he can't even play any better, he finds another gear to hit, and that was a monster performance. Think about this. You know, obviously he's going against the front runner for MVP of the league, who had a good game, even though he fouled out. He had 25 and 10, like 21 minutes. Xavier Cooks killed him, but he was not on the court when it mattered the most. Cairns Taipans looking the goods, loving Keanu Pinder. DJ Hogue, again, I'm a fan. We're all fans of him. Glad that he's in the league, and he put on when it mattered most down the stretch.
The first 2 games these two teams played, it was Keanu Pinder fouling out, and it came back to hurt the Taipans in the second one they played at Kudos Bank Arena. Xavier Cooks, his 5th foul, it looked like a rush of blood. How important was it that he had to stay on the floor?
The 4th foul was a bad whistle. So Chase Buford was livid post-game. They're saying, look, you fouled out the best player, and that was where the game turned. And the 5th foul, you're right, Pinder coming down the lane, he jumped and he kind of turned, it was a foul. But the 4th foul was that one with Sam Wardenberg in the block, who took the first hit and then went down on the second. Should have been a flop, shouldn't have been a whistle on Xavier Cooks. So that's a shame. We got robbed of seeing him in crunch time, and the Kings probably would have won the game. But in the end, they're the kind of swings and roundabouts that happen. And this season series has been elite. And, you know, it's a bit of a preview. We may see that at some stage during the season. The Taipans, what I love about them, what I love about New Zealand, these teams this year that are doing really well, they're connected. They're playing together. They're all on the same page. You look at some teams like if you're Brisbane right now, where it's all a little bit everybody blaming each other. If you're Melbourne, it's like, I don't know, has everyone got everyone's back in that team? You can give up leads that you shouldn't have, or you can't fight back when you're getting down. Cairns, New Zealand, these teams that are all on the same page are not having any of those problems.
You mentioned Keanu Pinder. What is this man's ceiling? 2 years ago, Adelaide 36ers on the fringe of being out of the league. I think you talk about MVP candidate. I think he's the most improved player again. I think he's got that on lock as of right now. What is this man's ceiling?
I don't know because he keeps breaking the ceiling. I'm not saying we're trying to cap it, but he just continues to impress game in, game out. It's consistent. It's normal now. He is a superstar in this league. It's legit. You can't drop 31-12 and get the win at home versus the Kings. That's serious numbers. And Kings, they lock up on defense. You know, there was a lot of mixed message. Too much games in London.
Too much games.
Too much no rest. Too many mismatches out there, and he took full advantage of them all. They had no answer for him yesterday, and he continues to impress me. Like, he's fun to watch at both ends, and he's delivering. He's confident. Too much gangs in London. He is uber confident, and it's fun to watch him go about it. It really is.
It is. And when he gets into that confident mode, he has those periods we talked about on the broadcast last night where he's like, do you know what? Give it to me every time because I'm getting downhill and they can't stop me. I remember a game against Melbourne earlier in the season where he had a stretch like that. We love that from perimeter play. You know, Bryce Cotton's on a heater or Chris Golding, get him another look because he just knocked one down. It's fun also with Keanu Pinder.
He's in the zone, man.
He's in a zone.
He is in the zone.
Yeah.
Before we move on, I've got to ask, because you mentioned the flipping of the switch. Flick or flip? I'm not sure. I'm going to go with flip. I Googled it and it told me I shouldn't be going with flick. One or the other. Do we have concerns with the tight ends when they're not shooting the ball well? It's happened a couple of times and they seem to get exposed.
Yeah. Well, they are hit and miss. I said last night on the broadcast, they lead the league in three-point attempts, but they're second last in three-point percentage. So it's not like they're lights out, but they get hot. And last night they were bone dry, like 15% or something from three.
Still found a way
but
to
they
win.
still found a way because they have the ability to go to Pinder towards the rim, McCall going towards the rim. Hogue has the ability to get downhill a little bit as well. And then they made big shots in big moments. Hogue, back-to-back threes. Bull Qual, the kick from Shannon Scott out of the corner, huge three in overtime. So it's the thing that's had me worried about this team in terms of what's it going to look like in the postseason. That was a finals-type game last night.
Exactly, Liam. And every time they've went into that rut, they found ways to win. We called the game with Brisbane. Remember, they were shooting bad. Flip the switch, game change. Last night, found a way to win. That was a gut check, and they passed both tests in those games.
And a part of it is because they defend.
They defend.
And it gives them margin of error at the offensive end. We're missing some shots, that's okay. We get 3 stops in a row, we can turn this game on our head.
They're not a team you're going to want to play in a 5-game series. You'd back them to get hot more often than not in that. Now let's move on to it. Probably the hottest team in the league right now, the New Zealand Breakers. They hosted the Brisbane Bullets. Firstly, they beat Cairns.
Yes.
Then they hosted the Brisbane Bullets, who were very disappointing. But let's start with the Breakers because you've been high on them. Huge weekend for them once again, and they just continue to get better.
I love them, and I'm almost at the point of saying this team's going to win the championship.
Oh, wow.
Because they are playing at a higher level than any other team in the league right now. No doubt about that. On a heater and really connected. Everybody playing really well. And then the import trio, I mean, we might be having to start to talk about whether or not this is the greatest import trio of New Zealand Breakers history. We might need to start having that conversation at some point because they are absolutely elite. Mody Mayor has that team playing at a super high level, and I love the way they go about it at both ends of the floor.
Now, you mentioned the import trio, but we haven't seen it when you've got 3 pieces that fit so perfectly in the system that Mody Mayo is going. I know you're a massive Barry Brown fan, but now with Derek Pardon and Jarrell Brantley is starting to absolutely ball out.
I don't have them yet as the favorites. Sydney went down there and beat them in New Zealand.
Without Xavier Cooks for a lot of it.
That's impressive. I want to see them against the Phoenix now.
Big game.
The Phoenix are fully loaded and rocking.
And smashed New Zealand last time.
Dude. Like, it's all, you know how it is. It's all about matchups in these series. Sydney beat New Zealand. New Zealand beat Cairns. Cairns beat Sydney. So it's all about matchups. So it'll be interesting to see what they look like this time around versus Southeast Melbourne Phoenix.
It's really interesting you talk about matchups with this New Zealand team because during the off-season when Mody Mayor signed Jarrell Brantley, just before they announced him, and he messaged me and said, hey, you're going to love my power forward. he's a mismatch for everybody.
He's a Mitch. Look, he and Mitch Creek, they went at it before. That's the matchup.
Great matchup.
That is the matchup.
But also Brantley and Xavier Cooks.
Yep.
That's the matchup too.
They're the 3 best power forwards in the league. So when they all go head to head,
Whoever wins the matchup usually,
But against every other team, Brantley is killing power forwards. He went and had a great game in Cairns against Sam Wardenberg and that group. Just destroyed DJ Mitchell on Sunday. Absolutely destroyed him, 29 points.
Yeah, that was a massacre.
Massacre.
That was I was at home like, do I go watch games in London? Do I change this? Because this game's done. What is going on in
It was
Brisbane?
one of those car crashes that you couldn't look away from.
We're going to talk about the Brisbane Bullets because they were mighty disappointing. I tell you, I gave them a chance going into this to make it a game because whenever there's a massive overhaul, whether it's coach or whether it's a key player or management, a team normally comes out with more energy, more fire. They were super disappointing. They've said it themselves, and borderline unacceptable was the word they were saying.
Yeah, it was a rubbish performance.
Dude, you down like 40, like 30, pretty much the whole game.
Yeah.
That was bad, man.
No Baines, no Harrison.
They was
no
going to
size.
lose regardless.
And that front line for the Breakers, like if you, even with your best guys, they're probably going to beat you.
Zayli Alpha.
Yeah, give him some love.
What about that? What he did in the first half, he killed them. Forget the front line. Zayli Alpha owned those guards. There was nobody wanted none of that.
True, although part of that is that they're setting amazing picks for him and the help's not there like it needs to be. Like that, it's all connected in there with New Zealand. Like they are helping each other.
The picks you say, if you go back and watch the game, Derek Pardon and Jarrell Brantley are by far the best screeners in the league. It is unbelievable. But should we be starting to talk about Azalea Arthur in the most improved player role?
Let me ask you something.
He's been great all year.
All right, we say Keanu Pinner, right? You ever seen a most improved player winner win most improved player?
But he's that guy.
He is 100%.
He's the guy.
That's
Tell
what
me
I'm
he's not
saying.
the guy.
The only one I remember is Finn Delaney a couple of years ago where he won it. Oh, he was in the contention for it. And then again, the year after, it's just a trajectory. We're talking back to Pinder. He was out of the league, most improved player, and now he's an MVP candidate. There's no more. That's the rule.
No, he's taken the 2 jumps. So he took the first jump from like average player to good player, and now he's taken the good to great.
Yeah.
And if he keeps it up, he's that guy. That's his award.
Now, it's not. I've taken.
And then we name it after him, right?
Yeah.
You have to name it after a guy.
You
If
can.
he wins it back to back.
100%. You can. Now,
That's crazy.
I've taken it out of yes or no, so I'll ask it here. You take out the MVP right now, and you take out the Rookie of the Year. Sam Wardenberg's probably got that one on lock. Could New Zealand sneak? I'll ask you yes or no. Could they sweep the rest of the awards?
Talk to me.
Coach of the year.
So Coach of the Year, Derek Pardon,
Yeah,
Defensive Player of the Year,
Defensive
Barry
Player of
Brown,
the
and then
Year.
Most Improved if the Alpha
I
continues.
don't hate it. I was speaking of awards. While we're talking Cairns and New Zealand, all those guys, tell me which 2 of these right now are the All NBL first team bigs.
Right, you got to go quick.
Pinder, Cooks, Creek, Pardon, Brantley.
I'd go Cooks and Pardon right now.
Not Creek, not Pinder.
I'd go Cooks and Pinder. I can't do it. Good luck.
Creek doesn't get in.
Well, we're going to talk about Mitch Creek. We're going to go to a break. Plenty more.
crazy.
That's crazy.
Plenty more NBL Overtime coming up. Hashtag NBL Overtime to get involved. Don't go anywhere.
It's a special night for the great man because he's playing his 300th game. What a fantastic career we've seen so far.
Creek came across for the help and finished in style. Oh, what an athlete. Here's Creek, touch pass, back from Romain. Wow, that's pretty to watch.
A little something extra in game number 300.
What does he mean to this team?
Everything, the heart and soul of the joint.
It's not really about the number of games you play, it's about how many people you can affect in a positive manner to, whether it's bringing a little bit of energy, a bit of fun, a bit of spice.
Mitch Creek, the milestone man.
Welcome back to NBL Overtime. Don't forget, hashtag NBL Overtime to get involved. We saw it there, 300 games for Mitch Creek. He is the heart and soul of the Phoenix. He was their franchise player. What an incredible career. He told me when I commentated with him, he's got at least 100 games left. And I said, mate, you got at least 200 in you.
Yeah, for sure. Those guys, like Krieg and Jason Kidd, Todd Blanchfield, never went to college. Came straight to the NBL. They can rack up those games quickly. And it's been a great career. He is playing unbelievable right now, leading the league in scoring, doing great things for that Phoenix squad. Has never won that championship. Came oh so close against you guys in 2018 and came close with the Phoenix, realistically, a couple of seasons ago when they got knocked out in that semi-final series. But they're well and truly in the mix this year. That team, as you said before, Corey, they are up and about.
Congratulations to him. He's an all-star. He's a superstar in this league, and keeps his body in great shape and condition, and he's dominating. I mean, he's leading the league in scoring. He's also a candidate for MVP as well. He talked about it in the preseason and said that this was the best team the Phoenix has put together that he's ever played with. And they're really impressive when they're all healthy. So I can't wait to see this New Zealand matchup. Congratulations to him on hitting 300, and wish you many, many more games. But I'm a fan, always been.
I know they only played the Hawks, but geez, they look good. And what I love, no Kyle Adnam. Trey Kell had the ball in his hands a lot, making plays off the ball screen. Are we going to see more of that?
I reckon we will. Now, I think part of that decision behind the scenes at the Phoenix was, it was about no Kyle Adnam and, we can use Trey Kell as the backup PG. But I think it was also like, let's try to find ways to really tap into what Trey Kell can give us. So like what Cairns do with DJ Hogue, where they let him handle it for periods of time and they put him in ball screen actions. They're going to do that more and more with Trey Kell. They're running action for him off the ball. So I think we're going to see a much bigger second half of the season for Trey Kell than what we've seen over the first half. And if the Phoenix down the other end lock in and defend at a consistent rate, that team can beat anyone.
There's my question to you, Corey, the defensive end, because there is an elephant in the room. Joe Chi, when he comes back, where does he fit into this lineup? Because Dane Pinot playing the backup big, we know how terrific he is in the ball screen defense especially. Alan Williams, his production's gone way up since Joe Chi, they're not sharing minutes. What happens then?
Joe Chi comes off the bench. Dane Pinot, great job. Have a seat. You've done what you needed to do. You've done what you were paid to do. Come in, do your job, and when we need you, you step up and do what you do. Joe Chi's back, and that's it.
Let's move on to the Adelaide 36ers. You talk about the Phoenix being a contender. Adelaide look like they've turned a massive corner since the FIBA break. They look like they're rolling, and they're all doing it behind making Robert Franks a focal point.
Yeah, they're set to really start to go on a run here. Now, maybe not necessarily wins in a row, but I think they're going to start solidifying their spot in this top six. And there's a connectiveness, if that is even a word.
We'll go with it.
Within this group now. And everybody's getting involved. Gee, Trimmick playing really well with greater responsibility and opportunity. And there's a little bit more of this. Everybody having a bit of fun, getting after it defensively, putting pressure on.
This is absurd.
And Sunday, that was beautiful. And you're right. Robert Franks is now the undisputed primary option at the offensive end. And, he's the alpha now, and they know what he can deliver, and he's delivering it.
Earlier, we discussed names.
Get to it.
First, who's making first team and who isn't? All NBL. Robert Franks, Mitch Creek, Keanu Pender, Derek Pardon, Xavier Cooks, Alan Williams, Jarrell Brantley. I'm going with Creek, Pender, and Cooks.
You only get two of them.
You can only have two.
But Pender,
No, you only
isn't
get-
Creek a 3?
No,
He's a 4.
he's in the inside.
That's
We've
the
had
thing.
this every year.
Do you know what?
You want to change it?
It needs to change.
It might have to this
because of
year.
Mitch Creek.
It might have to this
Every year he misses out on first team because he's considered a big.
But some of those
Like
players,
the Oscar snubs.
some of those players are going to miss out altogether, which is incredible.
That's crazy.
So if you had to pick two, you're only allowed to pick two right now.
Pender and Cooks.
It's hard to argue. They're the two leading MVP.
Pender
candidates.
and Cooks.
And Creek is the unfortunate one on the outside.
Every
But hey,
time, right?
But Adelaide, I mean, are you feeling me that they're about to start rolling?
I love the way that they've been playing the last couple of games. They looked really good. They handled Perth Wildcats in RAC. They looked really impressive. Robert Franks is rocking. Everybody's stepping up. The right players are stepping up. can they consistently keep that going?
Do you know who they play?
They need another import coming up?
Well, that's a good question. You know who they
And
play
when?
this week?
Who?
Cairns and Sydney.
That'll be huge. Now, speaking of stepping up, Santa's watching. It's been stepping up. It's got a new stinger.
Yes, sir.
So let's see it. Let's get into it. What have we been looking at?
Let's do it. We're going to start in Perth with Adelaide and our man Robert Franks. Firstly, just enjoy it.
Have a look at this. Have a look at this.
Enjoy that. Robert Franks, you were calling this, I think, Pete. Just getting into the mood of the FIFA World Cup.
Didn't need to do it. He got to delay a game. Imagine if that was a technical foul to swing momentum.
He's been watching some late night action overseas. Now, keep an eye on Adam Ford. We love the coach has gone nuts. He's going nuts on the play some defense. Get to the split line. And then he gets angry with the refs. He's like, come on, that is absolute garbage. He's getting all kinds of fired up. And then Sam Wardenberg comes over and he's like, you good, mate? And Wardenberg's like, sorry, what's that? Just calm down, coach. Yeah, all right.
It'll be hot. That's why he wears a black shirt with how much he exercises.
Look at Antonius Cleveland here.
Antonius Cleveland doing?
What is this? What's that play?
Oh, my.
Oh, cool.
Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No,
Look how far off he took out from.
Great hustle from Chris Golding. Now, what do we got here? Okay. Oh, yeah, so Brantley. Keep an eye on Jarrell Brantley. Misses that first one. He's not happy. Isaiah Liafa knocks it down, and then watch Brantley. Bang, bang. Oh. Gave himself a combination.
First of all, he's too strong to be slapping himself in the head. He might knock himself out.
Love this from Tajir McCall. He's only 3 of the year from halfway. Bang, off the board. Heartbreak moment there for the Breakers. But keep an eye on the guy from the Breakers at the end of the bench. He's like, far out.
Well, Tajir McCall didn't even celebrate that. As you're right, only 3 of the year. But coming up next, we've got yes, no. I'll tone it down a little bit. But Cam Luke's helped me out. Looking forward to it. Plenty more NBL overtime right after this. Welcome back to NBL Overtime. Well, this man here, Derek Pardon, he was undeniable in November. Big buckets, big boards, big heart, and he's got a big bicep as well. He takes home the Fearless Finisher badge. He's been unbelievable. The 2K23 NBL Spotlight Player of the Month honours goes to this man right here. He is the focal point. He is the leader of the New Zealand Breakers, and he is playing outstanding, Corey.
It's not easy to be Player of the Month in the NBL. You have to be consistent, and you're gonna have to put up some really good numbers and win. And he has done all 3. Great job for him, and look, he's one of the best centers in the league. He is putting on for the Breakers.
Now, Liam, so he takes home that Fearless Finisher badge. Is he the leading contender for the Defensive Player of the Year?
I've got him there. Yeah, I love him. He's my favourite player in the league. I've made that very clear.
wow.
Oh, I love him. I love the way he plays at both ends of the floor, and he just stays in his lane. He's taken 82, 83 field goal attempts this season. Every single one of them in the lane. Speaking of lane, he knows his lane and he stays in it.
Well, I've been waiting for this. Yes, no. Let's get stuck into it. I took a couple of Cams out because he's trying to get me fired. But Corey, we're going to start with you. Last week, apparently you didn't answer. In the playground, you were taking Pinder over Derek Pardon. Yes or no?
I gotta take Pinder.
Okay.
I gotta take Pinder.
Okay, Liam, is Southeast Melbourne more of a threat in the title race than Cairns?
Yes.
Corey, an all-Australian team in NBL 23 would beat an all-import team.
No.
Same question?
Yes.
Oh, there we go. I thought that would be. Liam, the Christmas Day game will be the most viewed game in NBL history.
No.
Keanu Pinder will be in the United States after this season. For what could be for whatever reason.
No.
No Summer League. No Summer League.
Oh,
no.
I'm thinking. Okay. Yeah, Summer League.
Trick question.
Super trick question.
Come on, man.
He'll be Summer League. He'll get some work.
Get that from Cam, huh?
Yeah.
Now, I dig it on. Brisbane's current problems in this year is going to hurt Baines' World Cup chances.
Yes.
The 3 imports from New Zealand will all make all NBL.
No.
Okay. Well, that's all I got yes or no. I had to take out a couple of Cam Luke's. The other one he said, is Josh Majette underperforming in NBL 23?
No.
No?
You think so?
Oh, no, I'm not. Hey, this is what Cam Luke said. So that's all we have time for. Give me a rating. How did I do? Did I fill in? Did I do okay?
You were amazing.
It's.
You're the spotlight host of the week.
Oh, Spotlight host of the week.
Did a great job.
Well, it's been a pleasure. Make sure you jump online to socials. Don't forget about it. They're right there. Follow Cam Luke's socials. He's having a blast. # NBL Overtime. The normal crew will be back next week.